Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 8 Gillcast. This is the NFL Daily Fantasy Recap show from the week that was here on RotoGrinders.com. My name is Davis Mattek. You can find me on Twitter at Davis Mattek. I'm here with my boys Sammy Reid and Nate Nohling, who can be found at Sammy Reid FI and at Nate Nohling. One of us is a really grumpy camper, and two of us are feeling pretty good here on this Sunday night, though. For a majority of the day, I was more grumpy than I needed to be. Nate, how are you doing, man? People are worried. Listeners of the show are worried about you. They want you to have a winning week.
Yeah, it wasn't this week. I played Martavis Bryant in cash. So,
have we confirmed his snap count?
I can't find his snap count, but I'll tell you what. I was watching the game, and I don't know if he saw a snap. Like,
can we confirm that he was active?
LaFell getting the work that LaFell got was like so tilting. Every play, I'm just looking. Where's number 12? Where's number 12? Where's number 12? Where's number 12? I don't know.
Did you think you were live going into the afternoon games, and you're like, dude, I just need some Martavis, and like it's gonna happen?
No, I pretty much knew I was dead after the morning games because of I didn't realize Connor was going to be 60%. What was he in cash games? 60% owned? I had no idea Connor was going to be that high. I misread the Connor situation. I knew Connor was a fine play, but I did not expect him to be 60% owned in cash. Davis, did you? That caught me way off guard.
I kind of thought it would be more evenly split between him and Mixon, but I was not surprised to see him very popular. What actually surprised me about ownership percentages was people were actually good and did not play Jalen Richard and did not play Isaiah Crowell. Like that, normally people at the $3, $5, $10, $25 level, they'll play those bad plays like Crowell and like Richard.
I mean, I thought it was going to be Gurley, the highest owned running back, Hunt, Connor, kind of close, and then carry on Philip Lindsay, and then Jalen Richard right there. But it was quite different than
people are biased against Hunt because
early season.
Yeah, he was just bad, and he was bad in like a couple national.
But people don't realize that he's been a passing guy recently. Like he's actually getting passing work.
Yeah, he was a very good play.
Yeah.
So, Sammy, you're not grumpy, man. You're feeling good.
No, I'm not grumpy at all. I played James Conner. Like, I just knew, like, after the morning games, it was like, dude, I'm just crushing. But that was the big thing. I mean, we've been talking about this all week, the Gurley situation, right? What do you do with Gurley? I ended up not playing Gurley. And obviously Gurley had a great game because that's what Gurley does. But I really felt like the best lineup construction where you got the strongest plays throughout your lineup, which is, what you want in cash, that like high floor, I actually thought was not the Gurley build. So, and I just considered Connor a lock. So, it was pretty easy. If I could do it
all over again, the only thing I would for sure do differently is I will never play AJ Green again for this much money. Never again.
I mean, so that first half was just such extreme tilt because Kareem Hunt wasn't getting anything and AJ Green was just getting schooled by Boyd.
I mean, Tyler Boyd is better than him. I need this to go on the record.
The Hunt thing was tilt because Hunt finds the end zone all the time and literally just could not get in. Like in the first, there was like 4 times in a row where he just got shut out and it was just like, what is happening?
All right, so let's we need to start going through lineups. Sammy, what was your score?
151.14.
152.5. So I'm the GOAT for the week. Nate,
I don't know how you got there. This is crazy.
118.
118. Nate Nohling bringing up the caboose.
Oh, dude, it was brutal. I finished out of the 11-man double ups and stuff, literally DFL.
So, I mean, this was my last week, Nate. It happens sometimes,
Yeah. Oh, Sammy, your team last week was so bad.
It was the worst team that I've ever put together in my life. It was so sick.
But I'm sitting down, like, trying to figure out where I went wrong this week.
Yeah, but you're being stubborn about it. I'm trying to tell you where you went wrong, and you're being stubborn about it.
You're saying Golden Tate was bad because of the other plays, but you're not telling me what other plays
Okay, well,
were bad.
you know what? We're going to get there. We're going to go play by play, and I'll be able to tell you. Quarterback, I went Goff. Sammy.
I went Jameis.
Sammy.
I went Aaron Rodgers. Did Jameis outscore Aaron Rodgers?
Yes.
No, I think Rodgers got 14. Jameis had 12.
12, yeah.
No, Rodgers had 15.9.
If Jameis would have played the whole game, like,
Yeah,
he
smash.
just kept chucking, he would have smashed. The fact that he sat halfway through the third, oh my gosh, that was tilt.
Yeah.
Watching him get benched, like,
you
and then
can't
Fitz-
account for that.
and then Fitz coming in and throwing like 3 touchdowns in 10 seconds was like, ugh.
Yeah.
That was sick.
You can't account for that at all.
The,
But I thought
part of the reason I played Jameis isn't because Jameis is good. Jameis is not good. It's just the volume that he has, like, puts him squarely in play. Obviously, Goff's a better quarterback at the exact same price, but the volume he has, where Goff can totally get a game where he has 28 passing attempts, and the Rams just have a super efficient game here. So I thought Jameis had a high floor just because of the fact that I knew he was going to be chucking and, like, he would get the touchdown.
I mean, he's very good, like, for fantasy. Jameis.
Well, no, he's not good. It's the Tampa Bay offense, the situation.
Jameis was very good, but no more, dude. He got his job yoinked. Like, he's not coming back. It's over.
So,
It's over.
Sammy,
I think Jameis is just like a bad Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't get into the QB scouting takes so much these days. Once I was right about Andrew Luck being a bust, I could kind of just walk off on that one. Sammy, why did you go Rodgers over Goff?
I just had this feeling with Rodgers, and obviously misread the game script, but I wanted one of these two quarterbacks. I didn't even like really consider anywhere else for quarterback except Mahomes, which honestly was the play. We're all fish, but I mean, I just thought that Rodgers was going to have to. I thought he was a lock for the bonus. I thought the Rams, it was going to be a high scoring game, and in the fourth quarter, Rodgers was just going to have to throw and throw and throw and throw, and he was going to get to 400 yards again. And he would have got there too if Ty Montgomery wasn't such a freaking idiot. Oh, yeah. That's so tilting what happened at the end of that game. So bad. But
I mean,
yeah,
the big tilt is that Gurley didn't just go ahead and rush that last touchdown in and just.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, it's smart, but at the same time, he scores a touchdown. They're up 9 with 8 seconds to go. Like, it's fine. Like, it's 2 scores. You're fine. Score the touchdown. It was smart, but it was also a little misguided. Just get in there, bro.
What can you do?
Yeah,
what can you do?
Bad.
I played Goff. Probably
Goff was the sharpest play.
I would say though, if I had the extra 200 in my lineup, I would have played Rodgers, but I did not. I could not have got there, so I had.
Why did you go Goff over Winston? Like, I thought you were the Winston fan.
Because
Because
Goff has a 0% chance of getting benched.
Well, and Sammy is right. Goff is the sharp play. If you go look at the $1,000 guaranteed double up on DraftKings, I bet Goff's ownership percentage is very much higher there than it is on the $25 double up.
Yeah, he was on a team with a 33-point implied total.
Oh, I know.
Bad defense at home for $6,000.
I've played Goff in cash I think 3 weeks this year. I love Goff. He's in the most efficient offense in the league. He always has the highest team total. I mean, he's always in a smash spot. It's just that the fact is Gurley has such a high touchdown share, and if you don't get touchdowns as a QB.
And also, I guess this is I basically just stacked that Tampa Bay Atlanta game as my GPP exposure, a bunch of different ways. So I didn't feel the need to I have to get Jameis in or Dalton in as my cash game quarterback, because if that game goes nuts, I have all these outs to be profitable from it. And I just thought Goff was the safest. So running backs. Sammy had the most interesting roster construction, so I'll let him go first.
Okay, so I think – so I loved Connor and Hunt. And for me, Connor was the first guy I put into all of my lineups. Regardless of lineup construction, I was just Connor's a lock. Because for me, it's imagine if Le'Veon Bell was $7,500 at home against the Cleveland Browns. He would be 100% owned in cash. 100% owned. but James Conner's name is not Le'Veon Bell. And so somehow he's only 56% owned. I didn't get it at all. And so for me, he was just a lock. So I went those two guys. And then I went Philip Lindsay. And that was a big question I had going into the games is like that price range. Was it Lindsay, Kerryon Johnson, or Marlon Mack? And I really wrestled with this. I was asking you guys. I'm like, dude, what are the optos saying? Like, I ended up going with Philip Lindsay. He did great. He did fine. He scored 20. He wasn't Marlon Mack, but he was good enough. So, and
apparently
Kareem
no
Hunt,
one's Marlon Mack except for Todd Gurley these days.
yeah, exactly. But Kareem Hunt, like for me, like the way I constructed my lineup, I wanted Casey exposure. Like if you look at my overall lineup, I had a Green Bay guy in Rodgers. I had a Pittsburgh guy in Connor. I had a Ram in Woods. I had a KC Chief in Kareem Hunt. And I had a Cincinnati Bengal in AJ Green. I really constructed my lineup so that I had exposure to like kind of spread out over like all these teams that should smash. I didn't like concentrate on one. And I thought I really liked that just as a theoretical move.
Yeah. Getting in James Conner over AJ Green, just the ultimate sharpest. And I feel bad.
No, I had it. I had AJ Green though. Like,
well, my 2v2 was AJ Green, Kerryon Johnson versus James Conner, Sammy Watkins.
Oh no, Davis, I'm sorry.
And I think maybe there was like a tight end in there or something too. But when I woke up Sunday morning, Watkins Conner was in my cash team. So I won today and everything was fine. But like we're talking like, good day. Good day could have been, one of the better days of my young life.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have had to stress all day and like suck out at the end. You could have just immediately been like, "Well, I'm making money. Just how much?"
I wasn't actually making money until Gurley hit the 100-yard bonus. Like it was like he had already scored. Goff had already thrown 2 touchdowns. I think maybe even 3 at that point. And
what was Gurley owned? He was. Oh my God.
He was only like 35%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 31.5 in this massive $25 single.
Yeah, I did not expect the Gurley to be half the ownership of Connor.
Well, when people flipped over all of that Kareem Hunt and all of that James Conner, I kind of knew he was going to be lower owned. And you know what? I know that Robert Woods worked out at 42%, but I should have swapped to Cooks given where my lineup was when things. So when the afternoon game started, I had Kerryon with 15, Lindsay with 20, AJ Green with 18, Anthony Miller with 13, and the Steelers defense with 7. I should have swapped. It was not intelligent to keep Woods in if I thought he was going to be that owned. Did you swap, Nate?
No, I should have. I mean, I was sitting there looking at a Devontae swap from Woods, and then I was going down at my flex to – I was going to go like 2 wide receivers instead of Gurley, and but I was so dead it didn't matter. I mean, I knew I was dead, so I went my 3 running backs were
you just shut it down. You didn't even try to swap.
No, I mean, it was
just
dude, I literally
Nate just took a nap. He's like, I'm going to let my data scrape. I'm going to shut it down for a couple hours.
When your cash QB gets benched.
Hey, Sammy's been there.
Sammy's
QB got benched for Cody Kessler.
Yeah, last week, bro. I was in your spot. I swapped to Cook.
If DraftKings had a surrender button where I could get back like 10% of my entry, I would have spammed that button.
Smashed the button. Like, come on.
I went Hunt, Gurley, and Kerryon. Yeah, I went Hunt, Gurley, and Kerryon.
So this part of your lineup was pretty good, pretty defensible. I don't have with any of that.
Hunt for me was the same way that Sammy felt about Connor. I felt about Hunt. I thought Hunt was the play. I mean, he was a 8.5 point favorite at home with a 30+ point implied team total. And I thought Kansas City was just going to smoke Denver here. I just thought Hunt was like just in such a great spot.
Didn't have Denver +10 on your card, mate?
No. I had, yeah. So, I mean, I think the line closed at like 8.5. And so when you get a running back with his workload at home, like 8.5 8.5 I don't know. I thought Hunt was the smash spot. Gurley was a lock, and then the question was, I mean, Gurley, I was a little bit iffy on just this morning as I was
iffy. I was iffy. I had a Mixon Connor lineup too.
Gurley's percentage, like when you look at Gurley's like touchdown dependence score, if you look at like his projected touchdowns compared to like what his actual output of DraftKings points is, and you go, if he doesn't hit a touchdown, like it is impossible for him to reach a value. It is impossible.
He got 30 today without counting touchdown points.
So it's like one of those.
He's like $2,000 plus more than Connor and Hunt.
Yeah. So I was a little bit scared of Gurley today.
Those guys have to score twice to match Gurley. Basically, is what it like. Mixon, Connor, Hunt. Those guys, they have to score 2 times. They have to score 2 touchdowns to match Gurley.
But then the question was the question I was struggling with all day was the carry-on versus Phillip Lindsay. I went carry-on simply because he had, from my numbers, a higher projection of target share and a higher rushing attempt share, and he was in a better offense at home in a dome. Like he had I think Detroit's team total was like 6 points higher than Denver's. I already talked about how I thought Denver was going to get smashed on the road in Arrowhead, not a favorable spot for a running back who doesn't get the majority of the workload in the passing game. And I thought if Denver got down, that I thought Devontae Booker could have just like taken all of the Lindsay workload. And so I don't know. I thought carry-on was just a much safer play at the same price as Phillip Lindsay. Did not expect Lindsay to be 4 times, 5 times his ownership. And
bro, you got to read the room a little bit, man.
Tell me why.
I mean, Nate, what do you do throughout the week to like figure out?
Yeah, like what are you?
I look at multiple different ownership projections and literally.
But those, that's not cash ownership stuff at all. Not even to shout out our competitors or whatever, but like here at RG, the projections that we have in Lineup HQ are based off of like the Sunday Million and the Millionaire Maker and the stuff that Levitan does on Fantasy Labs.
But they're very similar to cash game.
They're not. No, they're not. You're never going to see someone ownership projected for 70%, but you get
the actual numbers are not. But if you look at like the rankings of it, if you look at so Gurley was projected as the number 1 owned running back. Then it was Connor. Then it was Hunt. Then it was Johnson and Lindsay. It had Kerryon Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, and Jalen Richard all at 15%.
I mean,
to think that one of those was going to be 6 times the ownership.
That's not obviously that's not a perfect science. And you just got to kind of listen to some pods and like read your Twitter feed and you'll see people love Phillip Lindsay, man.
Okay.
People
so you
love him.
You have a Detroit to the Gillcast, buddy.
You have a Detroit team at home in a dome as 3.5 points favorites versus with a 26.5 point team total versus a Denver team on the road in Arrowhead with a 21 point team total.
I mean, aren't you the one who says that we're always way too confident that we can predict what the context does and to just take the volume?
Yes, and even the volume led toward carry-on.
I mean, hey, I played both of them, but I think Lindsay was a better play to me.
All right, let's deconstruct it. None of us played Marlon Mack, and he smashed. Not being results oriented, do you think that we kind of misread things here and it should have been Mac?
No, because I misread the game. That was the only pick I got wrong today. I had Oakland +3. So
which I don't think that was square.
It looked like it was going to be okay until like the last 6 minutes of the game. But basically I just thought I thought it was going to kind of be an ugly game, maybe like 21-18, something like I didn't predict. Although I guess that's bad in the sense that Oakland is averaging like 1 sack and like 4 pressures per game. And that's like the thing that the Colts have been so bad at is keeping luck upright. But I'm also
not this year though. Not this year.
Yeah, and I mean
the last 3 games he hasn't been sacked once, which is pretty incredible. And they got that lineman. What's his name? That guard who's just like a complete mauler. That guy's a boss. What's his name?
I mean, you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah,
I should ask Robert Mays.
I nowhere near expected Indiana to run the ball the percentage of times. What did they run the ball? 38 times here? 37 times?
Yeah, and I mean the thing is
I did not project that.
Nyheim Hines he's not going away. Like he's still getting about 30% of the work, which like whatever, I'm not saying I had Mac in tournaments, but I thought he was clearly third for cash games behind Carry On and Lindsay at that price range.
Okay, so one sec. If you're going to say that Hines is the reason to not play Mac, isn't Booker the exact same situation in Denver?
I think Booker's bad, and I think Hines is good. So I think there's a chance of like literally in-game hot hand keeping Mac on the sideline, whereas I think it's pretty unlikely that Booker is just like ripping off 14-yard gains and keeping Lindsey on the bench. Booker's basically in there to give whoever else is in there a breather, and he's a very good pass blocker. So that's why they like him in the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
But if they really liked Booker, they would not have drafted a running back and then played an undrafted free agent over him.
I don't think they like Booker. I just think if you have Booker with like a 10% target share, it's hard to give Philip Lindsay a
Lindsay's like 180 pounds. Like they are not going to give him like
right
25
workload. And carry on literally has like, I don't know, an opportunity to be like a
the thing I guess I would say is like Lindsey was like I was very certain he would get goal line work, and yeah. I'm very
that's the one thing that you can say about Lindsey versus carry on is that he has a higher touchdown equity. But when your team has such a low team total, I don't know if touchdown equity is the reason you would be playing a guy like that. Did
you guys just get that Zoom note about like us getting an upgraded meeting time?
David Kitchen did something.
something here at RG Corporate just went amiss. Either they removed the permissions from my account, or Sammy's logged into the wrong account, or something like that.
I'm gonna guess it's Sammy. Anytime there's a Zoom issue, I blame Sammy.
Or maybe Kitchen finally was just like, we're yanking it. He doesn't have it anymore. So that's a possibility. But yeah. Back to carry on. I mean, I thought he was a really good play. I was really disappointed with the Lions' effort, though, and this is why, Nate, why I criticize your Tate play is they just play so dang slow that just sometimes you get in these scenarios where they're like at halftime they were on pace to run like 47 plays or something. Like it's a very situational thing with them where it's like Stafford just comes out and he's running every play down to the double zeros and he's just like chucking it to Kenny Galladay's feet and they just look so listless and lifeless, you know?
It was such a slow game. I wanted no piece of this game, on either side. No way.
Nate's like looking into like he's got some Football Outsiders like he's about to be like, no, actually they run this many plays. They're actually a fast offense.
No, they're actually not. I looked up all the pacing stuff for this game during the week, and they're both in the bottom half and mostly in the bottom 20 in like all pace metrics.
Carry on got way more targets than I expected though, so I fully admit that I ran hot getting 15 from him when they lost this game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was actually the best outcome is like as a home favorite, like for them to go down and to pass to him.
At the point in which they were on pace to run 48 plays, I was like, no, I don't want them to come back right away. I need dump offs. Like that's all I want is dump offs.
Yeah.
Getting 6 dump offs is as good as getting a 2-yard touchdown from your like mid-tier RB, basically.
So Davis, you went Gurley and Lindsey and carry on?
Yeah.
So you didn't play Hunt or Connor?
I didn't.
Davis,
Connor,
you lucked out,
dude,
bro.
You're a fish. What is this? I just scored one more point than I scored.
Well, Goff had a very good game.
I think you lucked out, dude. I think.
Lindsey not playing Connor was bad.
Connor or Hunt.
Not the same tier play for me, but I get it. Connor splits no work with nobody. He just gets like, all of it.
Spencer Ware comes in for Hunt on like their no huddle stuff.
Or they'll shovel pass to Tyreek Hill or to Sammy Watkins or to Marcus Kemp. Like it just doesn't matter.
Okay, Mixon also very good. Would you put Connor and Mixon on the same?
No.
I think Connor is like, and this is going to belie how unintelligent I am for playing AJ Green instead of Connor, but I think Connor is like the second best running back in fantasy right now.
I mean, he is. Yeah. I don't even know if there's really that much debate about it.
Yeah, my lineup is not very good. It really was the only reason I made money was Goff and Gurley, really.
Yeah, I mean so that's the thing is like sometimes we talk about these correlations, like especially in tournaments, an underused stack is quarterback and running back. But I also like it for cash when you really believe in that team. Like it's a team that's just super smashable, like the Rams or like KC, because pretty much no matter who scores a touchdown on that team, you're getting it. And if that team's going to score like 4 touchdowns plus, dude, you're like guaranteeing yourself all of them. I actually think it's a sharp move in cash as long as the team is in a great spot. And the Rams are pretty much always in a great spot.
Yeah, there's nothing more tilt-inducing than in cash when you have Gurley and Woods, and then freaking Josh Reynolds gets the team.
Oh, yeah. Josh Reynolds.
I was a week early, man. I
We
was
were
like
a week early,
Josh
Davis.
Reynolds tout.
God, we should have gone back to it in GPP. Like that was my one.
It was actually dumb because I had Trenton Cannon lineups, so I like had lineups where I needed like a 3.5K guy too.
Yeah. Oh, God, we're such fish. Like that would have been a GOAT Swolecast call too. Like we're like, let's go back to Jermaine Kearse. It's like, no, let's go back to Josh Mother Reynolds. Should have happened.
Should have started Josh Reynolds in my seasonal leagues, mate, instead of like the corpses like Geronimo Allison and Demaryius Thomas.
I dropped him in my seasonals. I'm pissed.
My wide receiver plan in seasonal, by the way, just total nightmare. Like I should be having a good year with how many running backs I've had that have hit, but my wide receiver plan was so bad. I'm just dead. Like it's really
seasonal
depressing.
was the only thing I won this week.
Well, congratulations.
When I'm relying on seasonal,
Small victory.
No, that's, I mean, it's a good hedge. I love being able to, like, if I'm having a losing DFS day, if I can get like a good seasonal sweat, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a stud receiver team on one of my seasonal teams with Juju, Evans, and Devontae, so it's hard to lose in that league.
Well, I mean, you know that it was a bad day for Nate when he starts talking about his seasonal teams willingly.
Pretty bad day. Pretty bad.
Guys,
like,
I needed something.
Let me talk about this MFL 10 I'm in right now.
I needed something.
Being a parent can be really challenging. It's normal to feel uncertain about whether you're doing the right things to raise healthy and happy children. That's why Child and Family Resource Network focuses on connecting pregnant parents and those with kids under the age of 5 with free support services to help them build confidence in their parenting journey. Everyone deserves to have someone they can turn to for support with parenting. Visit childandfamilyresourcenetwork.org today.
So let's talk about wide receiver. Did all three of us have AJ Green?
I did.
No,
You did not, Nate?
No, I went Woods. What did I do? I went Woods, Martavis, and Tate.
So
Jesus.
So Martavis
That is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Martavis was tilt.
Okay, how owned was Martavis in the $25 single entry?
I don't know.
You
Let
think
me
I looked
scroll
at-
down to some of the teams that didn't score very many points.
If you scroll down to the bottom, Sammy, I think I'm actually like the last.
You can only scroll to 3,000.
Yeah, I can't go down that far to any Martavis teams. Nate, what was he owned?
Nate, we need to know.
I wasn't looking at double ups. Ownership percentages. I think he was like
You need to find this. For
30.
us.
He was 30% in the $100 single entry.
So this was.
Oh my God!
That was why I made money, because I had Anthony Miller instead of Martavis Bryant. Anthony Miller had 13.7.
So this was a great part of my day, Davis. This was probably the best part of my day. So let me talk about it. We're texting at whatever 7 a.m. Pacific time, as we usually do on Sunday mornings, and you're like, Anthony Miller, bro, he might be the play, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, and you're like, he's way safer than Martavis. It's like free square. And I'm like, and I switched to him because you kind of talked me into it, and then he was shut out basically in the first half, except for a 7-yard run, and I wanted to murder you. I was like, God, I can't believe I listened to Davis Mattek. I'm such a fish. I'm going to have to talk about this on the Soulcast. I'm so mad. And then he sucked out with that touchdown. And then Martavis had nothing. And it was just all this.
I mean, not only did Martavis have nothing, we at this point, we are unclear if Martavis Bryant played.
Yeah.
Guys, I honestly don't I didn't even see shots of him on the sideline. I literally don't understand.
What if it comes out 3 days from now, he was all set and ready to go,
And
like
Gruden just was like,
no. What if he like got like a very low key weed suspension on like Saturday night or something, and it like wasn't reported on?
And I played him in cash games on DraftKings.com that same
Or
day.
like the NFL like handed down like a shadow suspension from like whatever. Like I know he's got something pending right now, and that's why they cut him and re-signed him.
Well, I mean, even if I had the extra
stone,
even if I had an extra 14 points, I still was at like 133. I still would have been DFL in most leagues.
If you had those 13 points from Miller and Gurley had scored that last touchdown, you would have made money today.
Or if my QB wouldn't have been benched halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, all of those things would have been better for your lineup. I mean, should we talk about this Martavis Bryant thing, or was it just like extreme run bad?
I don't know. Maybe it was
like it's hard for me to judge.
Like maybe it was the comfort level. Maybe we just never play a receiver under 4K. Like I did it last week with Curse, and I felt like good about it. I don't know. I mean, but he literally didn't. I don't think he saw the field, guys. So, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
he might not have been with the team.
The coaching staff even talked him up after the trade, though. There's on record the coaching staff was like, oh, we're ready to explore what Martavis can bring to the field, and he has been running out of the slot. Are
people talking about it on Twitter? I don't understand.
No, real football people are not, but fantasy people are. My boy, fantasy golf man, Timothy.
Okay, nope. Frank. Actually, yep. Martavis did have 12% of the snaps.
Listen, I gotta share a tweet from my friend Timothy Frank. Martavis Bryant is actually fitting the Amari Cooper role perfectly. It's the best tweet I've ever seen.
Amari Cooper saw one target in 2 different games this year, and we're surprised that Martavis Bryant didn't get anything. Oh man, that's a pretty severe error in judgment. And I don't want to exclude myself from this because I did end up swapping to Anthony Miller, but I had Martavis in.
Yeah, I had Martavis
until this morning.
Martavis. So the filter on Lineup HQ, or when you're in Lineup HQ, basically there are 5 color-coded things that can go underneath a play, which indicates GBP, cash, VIP GBP, salary relief plays or whatever. He had all 5 color codings. Martavis Bryant.
Oh my god! This is not
GPP, VIP GBP, salary relief. And I forget what the other one is.
This is not good corporate branding from you.
No, it's just in the last time someone had all 5 of them, it was TJ Yeldon in this Smash game.
Yeah, obviously.
What was Miller owned?
13%.
Yeah. It's always going to be low. Here's the thing. We knew that Allen Robinson was going to be out before today. I thought that was fairly obvious.
It was overnight.
Yeah, but dude, he was trending down. If you read the tea leaves, it was pretty sure he wasn't going to be playing. So
I would not have even thought about it without several tweets being Allen Robinson's not playing.
So what put you on Miller over Martavis, or was it literally just luck
that he was going to go into the slot and that Gabriel and White were going to play outside?
Yeah, and the Jets are bad against the slot.
Oh, and I watched the whole Bears game last week, and I could not have been more tilted when every target went Miller's way when I had Gabriel.
Yeah, well, it was Miller and then Trey Burton last week.
And here's the thing, Miller is a good player.
It was everybody but Taylor Gabriel last week.
Everybody other than Kevin White because the dude's dust.
Yeah, the thing is, Miller's a good player, and Martavis Bryant isn't. It's over for Martavis. He's not good at all.
Yeah, at the point in which Cooper's been traded and you're getting 12%, and you're bench for Brandon LaFell, that's just it for you, man. Next stop, Saskatchewan Roughriders.
But I just don't understand how somebody with his athletic profile doesn't get what do the Raiders have to play for? He's your new X receiver. Why are you not running him out there on every?
Coaches don't like guys like that, Nate.
This is just an athletic,
especially not Gruden.
I understand why you wouldn't be
He is not a Gruden grinder, bro. That's not his guy. No.
Something I've learned over like the last 6 months of like talking with like more people actually inside of football, like scouts and people with teams and coaches. Guys like Martavis Bryant, probably the last thing you want on your team if you're like a real football guy. He probably does not work incredibly hard. He's probably not real curious about the offense you're running. He's not asking questions. He's not trying. He's
definitely stoned.
Yeah,
definitely stoned. Like, yeah. I mean,
he's just there to run, basically.
What are the odds that he's in the NFL?
LaFell hadn't seen the target yet.
Davis, what are the odds that Martavis Bryant's in the NFL next year?
Oh, he
Martavis led the team the week before in target. I mean, there was nothing that could have predicted this
other than him being Martavis Bryant.
I'm going to say plus 250. He's out of the league.
I mean, I hope he goes to the CFL. He would be like the best player in that league. I would love it.
Yeah, and you can blaze in Canada now. Like, it's perfect.
I wonder if there's CFL. I wonder if they give suspensions for marijuana.
Yeah. I mean, if Josh Gordon wasn't straight and like bought into the Patriots plan, that would be a good spot for him too. But he's like, dude, he's on board. It's all about Gordon now.
So anyway, Miller really was just like the Bears are losing all these targets and they're shifting Gabriel to the outside. Miller's going to play the slot. Seemed better and easier. And like, I guess also the Bears, I feel like everyone on that team's going to get at least one gadget play called for them. Like literally. Like Robinson's getting one, Miller's getting one, Gabriel's getting one, Burton's getting one. Everyone but Jordan Howard is getting one gadget play called for them that's worth 5 fantasy points in and of itself. And like maybe that's fish thinking, but that played a part of my decision making.
As a Bears fan, I love watching this Bears offense now.
It's great. He's found a way to make a quarterback who can't throw to the left side of the field and who just is throwing wobblers like one of the most efficient fantasy quarterbacks. It's amazing. Yeah. So Nate, what wide receivers did you go? Did we have the same one, Sammy?
I had Green, Robert Woods, and Anthony Miller.
Yeah, same ones.
Yeah, and for me, like I wanted 2 out of the 3 guys. I wanted Green, Devontae Adams, or Robert Woods. And I was going to have 2 of those guys because when you go down from Gurley to the running backs, then it's like I didn't want to mess with 2 lower-priced receivers. I wanted 2 high-priced guys that I thought were really good plays and then 1 sketch guy. And, like, they were fine. They were all fine, but none of them smashed.
I just hate A.J. Green, man. Devontae Adams was right there.
Yeah.
He was right there.
Yeah, I just wanted a piece of Cincinnati. Like that was the decider for me.
Yeah, you just can't pay $8K for a guy who's not his number 1 team target.
But AJ Green is.
There's a guy named Tyler Boyd, dude.
Yep.
Better player.
Dude,
AJ Green was like 5th in weighted opportunity rating, right? Like coming into this week.
Yeah, I know.
He was really good.
I'm just being told.
He was AJ Green was like the top, like the second play to Gurley on RotoGrinders and Derek Carty's blitz stuff and on other competitor sites as well. He was
AJ Green is fine. He's got
no. I'm with Sammy though.
He's got a 66. Yeah.
If this wasn't a family-friendly podcast, I would have used a non-family-friendly word there. But I'm Team Tyler Boyd here. I hate AJ Green. He was so brutal today.
He sucked out, though. He sucked out 5 for 76 and a touch.
Man, if he did not score that touchdown, things would have been dark at halftime. I think I would have had like 27 points at halftime of the noon games.
So, yeah, if AJ Green doesn't – yeah, I don't know. I had Tate and Davis hates Golden Tate, and I'm fine with that.
I like Golden Tate when he's not popular for tournaments, but for
at 6K for a team in the dome at home – up against Seattle, slot. I mean, I don't know. Golden Tate with a 28% target share, 6K, I'll take it. Like,
here's the thing, Nate. If you're going to pay 6K for a receiver, you should have a guy that's like capable of scoring touchdowns. And Golden Tate like doesn't score touchdowns. That's the thing about him.
Here's the thing. Golden Tate doesn't need to score touchdowns to actually have value, though. Where guys like AJ Green and their touchdown dependence scares the crap out of me in cash games.
No, dude, AJ Green, like you should love AJ Green. He's got a big old whopper.
AJ Green is one of the most, if you look at his projection every single week, and then you look at what percentage of that projection is based on an actual touchdown, which is a binary outcome in the chances of him not hitting that, where
but he's like 6'5" and an amazing leaper. Like, read the scouting.
I love
touchdown maker.
That's why he's got a high touchdown projection every week. But it's the NFL. We know that touchdowns are not as predictable as other things. And so when I look at Golden Tate and I look at his projection and I go, wow, he has this high of a projection with only a 0.25 touchdown projection here. That means if he does have a touchdown, that's just on top of, and he's already going to have 14, 16 points. So the chance of him having a 25-point game here with a floor of like 10 to 12, because he's going to get such high volume or high probability targets across the middle of the field. Golden Tate is such a great like cash play at 6K. Like, I get him not being a play for tournaments because he doesn't have a high touchdown equity, but like, I mean, that's why you play like Marvin Jones or like Galladay, but like in cash, Tate's a great cash play. Like,
this just gets back to my
argument. He's the epitome
argument
of what you're looking for in a cash game wide receiver.
This gets back to my argument that NFL DFS is just a little bit of a field game. Like, I'm just not
the feel, mate.
I'm not clicking that 6K button on Golden Tate when James Conner and Kareem Hunt and those guys are like in the.
I played them.
You're
acting like I didn't
play James Conner, dude.
Okay, I played.
Hunt. Hey, that was really bad that you didn't play James Conner.
I played Hunt, carry on, and Gurley. You're acting like I played Tate over one of the running back. I played 3 running backs. You were the one who went 2 cheap running backs in Gurley. You're the one who faded the 7K running backs.
Sometimes you don't tap the glass, mate. Sometimes you gotta let the fish get paid.
Davis, you stuck out here. I don't know how you're not seeing this.
No, I'm admitting it. I am admitting that it was a total, and really one of the biggest suckouts was that quarterback scoring was pretty flat today. Like, no one really was good. Goff was really good. Who else was even really good at quarterback?
Nobody.
Well, the other suck out was tight end scoring.
Oh yeah, every tight end was bad. So we smashed with
Njoku got a 0. Uzoma got a 0. And did all of us play Ricky Seals-Jones at 3K?
Yeah, all 3 of us did.
Dude, we smashed the field with RSJ's 3.2 fantasy points.
That was me putting my faith in Derek Carty in the blitz.
Did Njoku get a target?
He had a touchdown in his hands and was interfered with.
I don't think Njoku got a target.
No, I was watching the game. He had a touchdown in his hands and was interfered with.
Yeah. That definitely happened. And then Seth DeValve caught a seam pass for a touchdown in garbage time when Njoku should have been in, but he wasn't.
Can't confirm. Yeah. So Rodgers at 31%, getting 15, and Goff outscoring him by 11. That was big for me.
So what did Goff put up?
26.
Mahomes was the play.
It's very hard to make a good lineup on DraftKings with a $7,000 quarterback.
I mean, it kind of feels like I know I didn't play Gurley, but it kind of feels like if you just play Mahomes and Gurley every week and stop looking for like values and stuff like this and just play Mahomes and Gurley, you're going to smash.
Just play Mahomes and Gurley, and then whichever Bears wide receiver is going to score the touchdown.
Gadget floor.
Yeah. Gadget floor. And we all had the Steelers defense, I'm assuming.
Yeah. They were 65% owned.
That's very
for
high
defense. That's out of control.
I mean, they were like so obviously the play though.
Yeah, like you couldn't play anybody else. I'm surprised.
I didn't even. I had 100% like tournaments too. I just didn't even bother looking at other defenses.
Yeah. I mean, I played some others in tournaments. Like I actually had Cincy because I know that Jameis Winston's bad, and that worked out real well. Like the Cincy mix and stack, that was actually real hot in tournaments.
I mean, yeah,
Good job,
but there's no value in like fading like the chalk defense. I think like when it's cheap.
No, not in cash. In tournaments, there definitely is because you're trying to like out random touchdown like a huge portion of the field, which is a good thing to do.
By the way, Todd Gurley is cheaper next week on DK.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question? I didn't play AJ at wide receiver. I mean, he was fine. If I would have paid up, though, the one guy that I was surprised that didn't get
Devontae.
more was either going to be Devontae or Odell. Like, was Odell just solely a GPP play because of the fact that their offense is so –
Offense is
No,
bad.
Odell-
And Josh
Odell
Allen-
was a great play.
He was,
He had
though.
he had the highest weighted opportunity rating
Yeah.
of any receiver on the main slate, and he was 7,500.
Yeah, he was.
I wish.
Yeah, I'm looking at Odell like over Woods, and I'm like, why didn't I get up to? I mean, $700 difference between Woods and Odell. I'm like, Odell was such a smash play here.
He really was. I had a decent amount of GPP exposure for exactly that reason, but also it was really contrarian. Like nobody really wanted Odell, and I think it's just that Eli Manning stink.
Yeah, they just
Like,
don't want that giant stink. It's so bad.
it's like playing a Seahawk in the year of our Lord 2018. It's just like I don't want any of it. But dude,
We're
at some
holding
point,
strong. We're through 8 weeks.
Yep.
And I've not played a Seahawk, and I mean I don't know who they play. I don't know what their schedule is for the rest of the year, but I can more or less guarantee Nate will find his way back to a Doug Baldwin and Cash lineup at some point in the next 2 months.
I played Dusty Doug that 1 week, and no more. I'm on the Mattek train of no Seahawks. No way, no how. Not happening.
I don't think I've
Yes.
touched the Seahawks
since
I
the
don't
Dusty
even
Dusty
play
Doug
Doug?
week.
I don't even know if I played Doug. I think I just said Doug was okay.
Corey Davis has been really good, by the way, since that overtime game. He's just been crushing it.
Dude, Odell has only had one game under 10 targets this year, and it was 9. I mean, he's a monster. I don't know how I didn't play him at 7. Like, he's a Nate play. Why didn't I jam him
That
in?
is such a Nate play.
That's like a
What was
much
I
better.
doing?
It's a much better play than Golden Tate.
Okay, he's also $1,500 more. So, like, there
Yeah,
is a
but you could
salary
have just
cap
played
there.
Anthony Miller and not Martavis Bryant, and it would have worked out.
Okay, that doesn't work out. There's like a $200 difference there.
No, the way the
Gosh, that's like a
there was a lineup construction where you played one of the 3K wide receivers, one of the mid 4K wide receivers, and then Robert Woods that let you get all the stud running backs. That would have been. I
did that on FanDuel. I played all 3 stud running backs, not Gurley. I played Mixon, Connor, and Hunt on FanDuel Cash, and that was awesome.
I had Lindsey on FanDuel. I thought he just seemed pretty fire there. He's pretty good running back.
Dude, hyper efficient, mate.
He may be leading the NFL in rushing yards right now.
Really?
He could be close.
I mean,
I think he's close.
Nobody rushes the ball anymore. Does he still have more rushing yards than Saquon?
Oh, dude, Saquon is he's like total dust. He's like 9th in the NFL in rushing yards.
He's on pace for 1,000 receiving yards.
I made that up about Lindsey, obviously.
obviously.
Well, the stats from today are not in, but he is quite high up there.
Yeah, I saw that. Like Saquon legit is on pace for 994 receiving yards this year.
On guess his yards per reception.
6.4.
It's actually better than I thought. 8.7. I guess he's had some long ones. His yards per target would be way lower though.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Nate, what did you learn today?
Did you learn something? Like actually, did you? By the way, there are lineups on DK that did just fine that cashed with 2 zeros, which is like pretty amazing.
I mean, not Nate's, but like other lineups.
Not Nate's, but like I'm going through these double ups and there are lineups with 160 points that have 2 zeros in them.
Jesus. What a sloppy day. This was great. I had a great time today, you guys.
I've had better days.
I mean, I don't know if I learned anything, but being 6x off on an ownership projection on a point, I had Lindsey and Carry On were like 0.2 difference.
Maybe just listen to a podcast a couple times a week. Maybe that would help you, man. Because I feel like you don't get a consensus outside of your own numbers very often, other than like talking to Sammy and I on Sunday mornings.
No, I mean, I try to get a feel on Twitter. This week, obviously, I had a busy work week, so I wasn't as in tune on. Normally, Sunday mornings.
Nate, did you watch the Swolecast?
I did actually, but it was like 4 a.m. this morning when I watched it.
Hey, like honestly, how did I do?
Actually, you guys said that you guys didn't have a good week. I mean, obviously, I'm a Kitchen fan, but like I thought this week was great.
Sammy
I thought you guys had a good
kowtows to Silva too much, though. It's the rookie mistake.
does a little bit.
When you get on a show with Silva.
Sammy, piece of you're over prepared where like you have these like things that you like, the intros and stuff that you have where it's like so rehearsed, like the polish comes off a little. You got to be more like off the cuff.
All right.
This is coming from Nate, who's like a really good host during MLB season. Really good at it.
Here's me furiously writing hosting notes from Nate Nohling.
Dude, don't ask me in the.
No. I'm genuinely curious because like
there are 3 people on this podcast, and one of them is an extremely good podcast host, and I'll let the listeners decide which one of those 3 is who.
No, it is 100%.
None of us are trying to pretend it's us, Davis.
No, it is definitely you. You are legitimately good.
I mean, I've never listened to your baseball podcast, Sammy, but I'm sure you're good on that. Are you the host?
It is excellent. If you like baseball, that would be a good podcast for you.
I go through phases with baseball. It's hard for me to care right now because the Royals are
opening day.
Yeah, I'll be in on opening day.
That's about it for you, right?
First week of MLB DFS.
No, I'm in until I don't know, 3rd month of the season, and then I'm just like, oh, this is horrible, man.
Yeah.
It's just like doing the same thing every day. Anything in life is quite exhausting for me. And baseball, 164 games, man.
162, but yeah.
162. That's just a lot of games. It's hard. It's hard to keep that energy up. Do you guys want to talk about Showdown for tomorrow? Corporate.
I haven't looked at it, but I'm down. Let's bring it up.
Corporate has passed that down. They would like for us to bring a couple Showdown plays out.
Well, what if you're a really good host? You would have let us know about that before the show.
My bad.
But let's bring it up. I'm down.
Well, I do these. I've been doing all these Showdown pods on my own podcast, so I'm like good to. I have like my whole strategy down on how I like to do these.
Okay, well, it's obviously Josh Gordon and the captain, right?
I think a very interesting sort of game theory element you can go with here is like one of these cheap Patriots and the captain. Obviously I think Gordon is a good captain play, but with them just being these massive favorites, I kind of think it for the lulz like Cordarrelle Patterson or Kenyon Barner and captain.
Kenyon Barner, yeah, Kenyon Barner in the captain is hot.
I mean, obviously the answer is like it's just going to be the 900th slate in a row where James White has the most points.
If he does that, I'm going to be tilted. I'm playing against him in seasonal.
I mean, I'm quite certain it's a lock.
Yeah, RIP, IP.
So the question is there
anybody on Buffalo playable at all?
I guess Benjamin is. But he's going to be like the chalk bill that people play.
Right.
So I guess you oh man, maybe even exclude Benjamin entirely and just go 100% Zay Jones.
Zay Jones, just smash Zay. I actually like that.
What's the Benjamin upside if he's 40% owned? Because you have to have at least one bill in every lineup.
I mean, I think if you want to make money on Kelvin Benjamin, you go to a sports site and you bet the under on 0.5 yak, and you just smash that.
No, actually, I think maybe you just play the Bills defense.
Oh, damn.
At home, they get like 5 a game. Pretty much.
But, like, dude, Brady never turns the ball over, does he?
I mean, 41-year-old Brady's a little bit different of a thing.
I guess.
And they're not going to have a good running game. Like, Barner is not as good as Michelle is.
No.
I'm still looking at stuff right now. I think who could you play? I mean, Zay is the only one, really.
Zay.
I mean, Chris Hogan.
Zay and LaShawn McCoy are the only
Chris Hogan is like a contrarian play.
I mean, no, you got to like you really the key to winning the slate is picking the highest Buffalo Bill. Like that will be if you can pick a Buffalo Bill who scores a touchdown in this game.
I mean, okay, Davis, do you play cash much in Showdown?
I did when they first started, like at the beginning of the year, but now I'm having a lot. It's just a lot more fun for me to make like 30 tournament teams.
Yeah. In cash, I think no matter the quarterbacks, I almost think you have to play both quarterbacks in cash.
I mean, Derek Anderson in this last game against Indianapolis got 3 points. So I don't know if that is. But he is only $7K, which is the cheapest I've ever seen a quarterback.
Yeah, the cheapest ever. It would be hard for me to build a cash game without.
I mean, if he throws 3 interceptions, he has to throw for 250 yards and a touchdown to get to 5, right? That's the math on that. Because he had 3 interceptions and okay. I guess the extra yards would get him to 6 or 7.
Isn't an interception just -1?
-2.
On DK, I thought it was just -1.
Yeah, it's -1, man.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You're such a sharp.
How did Derek
250 yards and 2 touchdowns?
I said 1 touchdown.
Oh, 1
3
touchdown.
interceptions.
It's 12 points.
I mean, can he get 250 passing yards?
Good game.
Davis is trying to get to 5 points with him, and it's 12.
I mean, I don't know what his realistic range of outcomes is. It's not good.
I mean, I think his realistic range of outcomes is from a lower projection standpoint, from a quarterback standpoint, probably 7. From a higher upper perspective, I would say any quarterback can fall into 20 points, especially if they're going to.
You know what? Yeah, I actually think this is sharp.
You have to play Derek Anderson.
Yeah, but people won't though. People will have people will be playing Julian Edelman and stuff, and I don't more people might even play one of Ivory or McCoy over him.
Well, I was going to say McCoy's playing. He'll probably be the chalk bill, right?
Yeah, McCoy's 6.6. Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just stone.
The only 2 bills I'd play would be, other than Anderson, would be McCoy and Zay.
Do you know how bad a team has to be 2 touchdown dogs at home? How many times does that ever happen in the NFL?
Okay, look, I actually have the play. I actually have the Bills play, and it's Charles Clay. And the reason it's Charles Clay, their linebackers are so bad, right? New England's are.
Yeah, but Charles Clay, they're so bad because they ran 5 140s, but at this point, Charles Clay is probably that slow also.
Oh, for sure. But I'm just saying, 5 targets in back-to-back games? 6 4 weeks ago? Dude, it's all Charles Clay. That's my free money-making play for the Bills. That's going to win you a bunch of money in Showdown. CC.
It's Zay Jones, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say right now, I'm just getting in Cordarrelle Patterson lineups. This dude just keeps scoring touchdowns.
Do you pair him with the New England defense special teams?
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question. This is a slate where the defense is just one of the best plays of the slate, which is weird. I don't know, I guess we had that with the Denver Arizona slate where defense a defense in captain lineup. It
was the chalk way to build the Denver Arizona game. Denver captain in cash was I feel it was 30% of the captains, and then I think they were 60% owned.
I had 100% Manny Sanders in captain in that slate, so things were lit. But I don't have a good read. I don't have a good read on who the best captain is on this slate yet.
Maybe it is New England D, and then Cordarrelle just in a regular spot because he won't get that much receiving work.
I'll throw them in because what I like to do is go through with different captains and see all the combinations you can do without taking a kicker and offensive players that you like. That's how I quantitatively look at who would be the most optimal captain in terms of setting GPP exposures. Cause in tournaments, a lot of the times I'm just looking for ways to avoid kicker lineups and make 5 offensive player lineups.
If there's a chance that Brady throws, Brady has a huge Brady game here, you need to have some exposure to him as captain, or you have no shot at winning anything. There needs to be some Brady captain lineups if you're playing multiple lineups. He
is not cracked. I don't know if that's true. He has not demonstrated as much of a ceiling, because 25 points generally is not good enough to be a captain score. If a team scores 30, you need a little bit more than that. Like if the team scores 25, either Edelman or Gronkowski or White will be the captain.
The implied total's over 30. I could see James White. I mean, I don't know. If Brady throws 4 touchdowns and Buffalo doesn't score any points, like had a couple field goals, Brady's going to be outscoring everybody else by – I mean, because Brady can dink and dunk and have White have a touchdown, Edelman have a touchdown, Gordon have a touchdown. I mean –
so a big part of Showdown and figuring out captains and if you should take kickers is projecting how many receptions there are going to be in a given game. There are likely going to be a lot of extra receptions in this game because they're not going to be running with Sony Michel, 25 times. So
White should be captain. White should be captain.
Yeah, White or Edelman probably, I think. So there you go. That's the Showdown take.
Dude, whatever. I mean, if you want to win $100,000, it's Bills DST and the captain.
I think there is like a lot of value in just going as absolutely contrarian as possible in Showdown because some of these ownership percentages are crazy. Like the other night, the Dolphins Texans one. If you would have just flat faded Brock, like you like really at that point there were so many good offensive players in that game. You were probably rich at the point at which you just excluded Brock. Like your lineup was so
Jakeem
good.
Grant and
then your pants like completely come off when Amendola throws one to Drake.
Right. Yeah. I had 100% Jakeem Grant too, though, Nate.
You really want to set yourself up for that like pants off.
Oh
moment.
no, who was the tech? Tyler Irvin. That was my
Nate,
under the radar play.
Nate, I had
the touchdown called back.
I had the best possible lineup. I had the lineup that won every GPP, and it was in all the GPPs. But I had Irvin versus Jordan Thomas. So
Davis was almost super rich.
I was
Drew
like
picked down the money and you didn't.
Yeah, like Drewby's rich instead of me, which is classic.
For the 5th Showdown slate in a row.
He just wins every one. He just gets to win every Showdown slate.
I mean, Davis, someday you will run as pure in Showdown as you did in DraftKings Cash today, and it'll be all over for you. Like, you'll just be rich, and it'll be great.
I would much rather be lucky than tell everyone on a podcast how smart I am. Those are words.
You sure about that?
Yes. Those are words. I would much rather show up on this podcast and be like, "Well, fished it up, but I made money again," than be the guy who has to go to like. I just don't want to come on and be like,
"Golden Tate got 12 targets, bro. It's a good play."
Like, I don't want to be the guy coming to the podcast telling you why my bad lineup was actually good. And Nate, let me be real with you. I've been that guy. I've been that guy many times. And sometimes you just have to hold the L when it's been handed to you.
Oh, I've taken the L. Trust me. My DraftKings balance has taken the L the last couple of weeks. I'm holding it.
Really, at least 2 of us won because it's pretty depressing when all 3 of us lose. Like last week
was a rough one.
It was real bad.
Yeah,
last week I also played terribly. Last week I also just had a bad lineup. Where this week I at least felt like I don't know.
All right, this is a long podcast. We're cutting it here. Everyone, thank you for listening. We will be back next week, and hopefully Nate won't be as sad.